Now, welcome back. If you've just joined us, we start off this interview with some sports news. It's part of the segment. The Comrades Marathon is an 89-kilometer ultra marathon and is regarded as the world's longest run annually in KwaZulu-Natal, province of South Africa, between cities of Durban and Pietermaritzburg. Now, Joe Talbot has been proudly lifting the Namibian flag as a Comrades Marathon ambassador for the past 11 years and has run 14 Comrades Marathons. 2022 will see him hand over the reins to the new kid on the block, Frans Amakali, who holds his own Comrades Marathon, Two Oceans Marathon, and a Nedbank Desert Dash participatory accomplishment. Both runners, Talbot and Amakali, now join us in studio to share their experiences and aspirations for the love of running and representing the land of the brave. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Morning.
Yeah. Yes. Now, I mean, maybe Joe, let me start with you. Just give us a little bit of background on this marathon, 89 kilometers. Whoa.
Yes, thank you. It's a privilege being here. Thank you very much. The Comrades Marathon is a journey. It's something very special and very few people get to do it, really, although the fields are big. A few years ago, they had a slogan which said, "It'll humble you," and that's exactly what it does. I started because of my dad. My dad ran the Comrades, and he encouraged me to run. And I've been involved with the Comrades Marathon for 40 years, of which 14 I ran, and 11 I've been the Comrades ambassador. And I've seen a change from an amateur status to a professional status. And I've seen the entry fees move from 200 Rand to now 2,000.
Okay.
So it's grown tremendously. My first Comrades, when we started, I stood right in front, and I wasn't the best runner. But we were 2,000 athletes. Now we turn at 30,000. Oh, okay. So it's a massive, massive thing. But it's, as I said, it's a journey, it's something special, and very few people really, really get to enjoy it.
Surely, in terms of the statistics that you're just sharing, there's definitely grown. I mean, just maybe for many of people, you know, they always tend to associate the word comrades with politics. What does comrade mean in the context of this?
The Comrades Marathon was created just after the Second World War, when many people didn't come back, and those that did come back were in state of shock. And it was to join the comrades, the soldiers, to join them to do something, and they decided to do a race in memory of these people. So that's what the Comrades Marathon is about. It's about war heroes, actually. And as none of us here like war, we do it now to show our support for not having war.
Okay. Now, Frans, you are known as a fitness buff. I mean, what is your interest from fitness to marathon? You know, how did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, it was a health issue that actually triggered me to start running and keeping fit. There was a time about 8 years ago where I was obese and overweight, and then my doctor referred me to some medication. And then I asked him, I mean, is there any other thing that I can do apart from taking medicine? And then he said, well, the only thing you can do is hit the gym. So I went to the gym and I started pumping weights, but then that wasn't helping anyway. So my gym instructor then instructed me to say, and then you have to go outside and run. So it started off about 7 years ago, where I started off with a mere 10 kilometers. Then I struggled to do over an hour, 30 minutes. And then the interest just grew since I started seeing results, and I never looked back since. And I love running for so many reasons. I mean, just being out there in nature, you know, it connects a person mentally, where it then detox you from all, you know, the daily activities that you go through and all the stress that you go through. So if you want to do a proper detox that's natural, go out on the road and run. And this actually attracted me to running. And I've been doing half marathons, full marathons, until at the level where I've then asked myself, so what's next after a marathon? And I had this problem of being impatient. And I thought, what other discipline can I bring in that can teach me to be patient? So I then took up ultra marathons, which of course take you more than 12 hours on the road. And that teaches you that patience to be on the road running for 12 hours. And it gives you that discipline to maintain your pace, because if you go fast, you might hit the wall and you won't make the cut.
12 hours. The idea of 12 hours. Still trying to comprehend. Now, Joel, you are handing on the baton of the Comrade Ambassadorship on behalf of the land of the brave to France. Perhaps, what are some of the attributes that you deem him fit to be the one to take over this role that you've been doing for over 11 years?
Well, the whole idea is to expand the family of comrades and to get it known, which 11 years ago was, there was only a handful, I think 10 people ran Comrades in Namibia at that stage, on and off. So the whole idea is to be the brand ambassador for Comrades. And France is the ideal person because he's young, he's virile, and as I said just now, one of the slogans was, "It'll humble you," and this young man here is humble. He has achieved a lot. He's enthusiastic, but he's humble. And that's one of the attributes we're looking for. Because if you're not humble when you take on this race, Comrades will come and bite you in the bum, for sure.
Indeed, we need someone humble to raise the flag on behalf of the Republic. Now, Frans, share with us perhaps some of the nuggets of wisdom that you have acquired from Joel here over the past, years that you have known him, or the period that you have known him, and not only as maybe a mentor, but as a fellow comrade and as a fellow countryman.
Yeah, I mean, as the word goes, Comrades Marathon, for me, it's the camaraderie in it. And in Joel, I see the wisdom that he has passed on over the years that I started running. He has really groomed us all and take us through the ranks. And as he said earlier, that if you're not humbled, the comrades might just humble you. So he taught us to be patient, disciplined, and we learned quite a lot from him. And being at his age right now, and he keeps running, it's just a motivation for us young people to say, I mean, who am I to stop running now if a person like Joel is still running? So it's a motivation, and we learned quite a lot from him, where he teaches us on how to be, disciplined out there, how to take on runs that are longer and just take it step by step for you to be able to finish, because it's all about finishing. There's no competition here. We're competing against ourselves. So it's more about discipline, and that's what we're actually learning from Joel.
Discipline, indeed.
And all others out there. We have quite a lot of veteran runners that are out there in Namibia, and I mean, it's just about the youth to take up the decision. And we're not saying that you're going to compete and run for money or whatsoever. It's running for your own health and keeping fit. Okay. That's what we do.
Okay. Now, Joel, there seems to be an increment in terms of numbers Namibians who are participating. Is it an indicative of captivity and affordability for local runners to participate?
Well, look here, it's expensive to go to Comrades. The entry fee is 2,000. You have to fly or drive there. You have to have accommodation, etc., etc. But it is only once a year, so a person can plan, budget, and look forward to that. The growth in Comrades was a mere fact of doing exactly what Frans just said now, talking to the people, running with them, doing training runs with them, getting them excited, getting people like Bruce Fordyce here, getting people like Louis Massain here, the old runners that are the pioneers of running, that when I started, and getting them to come talk to the people and show them what it's about. So, and social media, I must be honest, social media has got a lot to do with it as well.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure now that obviously most sports codes and generally many activities have changed as a result of COVID-19. How has the scope and the format of the run changed due to COVID-19, Frans?
Yeah, I mean, everything has changed. COVID have hit us all in all spheres of life, and running is one of those. I mean, it's not the same. I can recall back in 2019 when I participated in my first Comrades run, there was quite a difference between us having to run it in 2020 virtually, where you have to run alone for over 82 kilometers or 92 kilometers. And I mean, it's different. The fact that we have to go off in batches and not go together as a team, where you see 30,000 people running together, that's different. So it changed all running modalities. And I mean, you have to be safe all the time. You need to make sure that there's social distancing while running. because we sweat and all that. So it's about just being careful all the time.
But how do you run virtually? I mean,
yeah, a virtual run is tracked with an app, and there's somebody monitoring you with an app, and obviously you have to link up with that app. As Joel has said, it's more social networking, so it is connected to that, and then we just organize ourselves in small groups of numbers, and then we take on the road and run virtually.
Okay. Now, as you're exiting, that's in the past.
Yeah.
Now, as you're exiting the Comrades Run, you're taking on a new journey called Wellness Club Run Walk for Life. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, I'm going into the other sphere of running. Frans has just told you now he was obese and he started running. And so what I'm doing now is I'm taking those exact people that are obese, unhealthy, and I'm training them to become fit, to become healthy, and to start running. So in essence, I'm training runners to be runners, and then we'll pass them over to Frans, and Frans will train them to be Comrades runners.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we're looking for.
Stakeholder and partnership.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, Frans, tell us about the preparations leading up to the race and how Namibians can support and follow the journey.
Oh yes, the Comrades Marathon was launched yesterday, yesterday morning, and the date is set. We are on for 28th August. Which gives us fairly about 5 months preparation, because you don't count the last month, because we call that a tapering month. We have a set of long training runs organized that are coming. We will communicate very soon out there on social media, and everybody else that is interested can join us. We are starting off with the Two Oceans Marathon, which is now over the Easter weekend, and then we build up to the race where we'll have at least 1 or 2 long runs per month. That will be at various locations on the Dordabus Road, on the B1, or down at the coast in Swakopmund. And yeah, that's how we will build up into preparation. I know we haven't had official runs last year and this year where one can use those times to register, because you are supposed to have an entry time to be able to qualify. So it's called a qualifier time. So we're planning to have one, maybe down at the coast. The colleagues at Swakop Striders might be able to assist us so that we can have an official run that we can use to enter with.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, unfortunately, we're out of time, but any final remarks, maybe 30 seconds?
Yes, thank you for having us, and we would like to thank all the running clubs in Namibia for keeping running alive, because they've done it under trying circumstances. They've really done a great job, every single one of them. I would like to say thank you to them.
Okay.
Yeah, lastly, I would just like to call on Corporate Namibia to please come on board and support us. Last in 2019, we had a team that was slightly over 70 participants, and we're looking at taking over 100 Namibians to participate and represent the country at the Comrades in August this year. So we're begging and asking for, or pleading for support. Doesn't have to be monetary. It can be either by way of giving us material like clothing, track shoots and stuff that we can use. And of course, there will be returns from our side in terms of the brand and all that. So we're just pleading for support in such a kind.
No, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Namibia's outgoing Comrades Ambassador Joel Talbot, as well as incoming Ambassador Frans Amakali, they're talking to us about the marathon run, and also encouraging all Namibians to participate and make sure that we send a fully fledged delegation to the Comrades run in August 2020 in South Africa. Stay tuned with us. GMN returns shortly.